back to the Sweatpant Report, folks. Today's going to be a little bit more of a social commentary probably than an actual sports commentary. I'm not going to tell you scores. Not going to talk about a whole lot of what's going on in the NCAA tournament. We'll do that next time. Today we're going to talk about Rutgers head basketball coach and coaching and some other things. The Rutgers administration, how do you let something like this go on and then you fire your coach because of what social media says? The man deserved to be fired. It's the man's throwing basketballs at these players, kicking these players. I don't care if you cuss at your players. I was cussed at growing up. You know, it's no big deal. My football coaches said things to me that I never repeat. Basketball coaches yelling things at me. So I don't care so much about what you say, but throwing basketballs, kicking players, pushing them around, putting your hands all over them, that's a whole other story. I didn't care in football coach if the coach grabbed my face mask, yelled in my face if I did something wrong. No big deal. That's football. That's what it's supposed to be. You know, our lives are so coddled these days. We coddle our children. Children don't know what it's like to have hard work and be yelled at because everyone goes home and cries to mommy all the time and daddy. They're always right there to yell because you can't touch my kid, you can't do this, you can't do that. There's things that you can do that are acceptable and things that aren't acceptable to me. Kicking your players, pushing them around, throwing basketballs at them if they do something wrong. Completely wrong. And coaches, you need to know this. You're being taped all the time. Somebody's got a camera phone, and everyone else out there, just remember your life is on a video. It could be on YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, whatever else is out there, Twitter, at any point in your life. So remember, the stupid things you do could always come back to haunt you because somebody's always taping something. People want freedoms in this life and say the government's taping this, the government's taping that. The government's not taping it, we're taping it all. And then they get to see it. They don't have to do anything because we're too stupid to realize that we're taping it all and showing everybody. Now back to the coaching there after that little diatribe. The guy should have been fired right away when this came out. It is completely ridiculous that the man got to keep his job that long. And I can't believe none of the players stood up to him. I can't believe you could even recruit to that school with that man. That'd be the... You know, being a school, if you're the athletic director, the first thing you're going to think of, and he should be thinking of the players, but the first thing he's going to be thinking of is how are we going to get recruits in here if this is seen? Nobody's going to come play for this man. Who in their right mind is going to let their kid go to that school? The Rutgers Athletic Administration is a joke. Rutgers needs to be looked into by the NCAA also. Penn State was looked into for sexual abuses. Well, this is physical abuse of players, of players. People, you know, you're entrusting to your school. Sandusky did it. It was outside of the school. It doesn't make it any better, right, wrong. It's a disgusting thing. But this is done at the school with people that are entrusted to take care of our children, to make them men. And this man is not a man. And how did anybody not see this coming up? This is not an act that all of a sudden started one day. This is something that had to have started years ago as an assistant coach or a head coach wherever he came from before. How do you not see how this man acts and reacts? And what I don't understand is how the players, when they bring other players in recruiting visits, other than say that, you know, this man is horrible, this man's going to throw basketballs at us, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. It just amazes me some of the things that go on. I don't mind a coach yelling and screaming at you. So that's motivation sometimes. You know, coaches need to know when to step on the pedal and when to back off. This man, I don't know, never looked like he knew when to back off. I'm surprised that he didn't throw chairs across the court like Bobby Knight during a game. This man is completely ridiculous and should never have a job coaching again. He should be completely banned from coaching anywhere for the rest of his life. A completely disgusting display, and a disgusting display by the Rutgers Athletic Department, who deserves sanctions just the same as Penn State got through the basketball program, because we know this went all the way up also. There's no way that they didn't know about this, that these things were going on beforehand. Now maybe it's not quite on the same level as Penn State, but if you're going to punish Penn State, you have to punish the Rutgers athletic program just like that, and the college. The State University of New Jersey needs to be punished because they all have something to do with what went on there. Just completely ridiculous and disgusting. Now, we're going to get into a little bit. Florida Gulf Coast coach, we're going to do something a little better, takes the job, takes over a job at USC. USC, I don't know, it's a better conference, is it a better job? Florida Gulf Coast has got a beach on campus. How do you not recruit to a beach? on campus. I know USC is Los Angeles. There's not a beach on campus, and it's not in the greatest neighborhood in the world. You know, I don't understand the loyalty of people anymore. And I don't understand why USC would go out and get a guy that's basically a one-year wonder at this school. Let him sit there for 2-3 years and see if he can keep doing it time after time. See if he can recruit to that school and get people there. People are so quick to hire these coaches after they have one good year. It amazes me. Let these guys have a couple years, a couple recruiting classes. Anyone can get it done on 1 year. Heck, like I was saying before, I could go to UCLA, recruit just enough players to have a great 1 year at least to make the NCAA tournament. Probably lose in the first round because I'd be out-coached. But I could get them to the NCAA tournament because I could recruit just good enough to get those players. But can I continually do it? Who knows? Can this guy continually do it? I don't know. But what is wrong with loyalty in America today? I know, you know, it's more money. Maybe it's a higher class job. Well, how much money can you make? And no offense to you women out there, because if you're coaching, you're not having a whole lot of time to spend your money. How much money can your wife spend out there? How much money do you really need to have? Loyalty, there's nothing about loyalty anymore. I understand you can be fired in 2-3 years and you might as well make your money while you can, and I kind of understand that. But a guy at something like Florida Gulf Coast could live off of that, off his reputation off of 1 year for quite a while. Let's see if he can really coach. See if he can keep it going. Keep year after year making the NCAA tournament, winning the conference title, or at least, you know, being very good and getting the NIT once in a while. I just don't understand the loyalty in sports these days. It is completely ridiculous. Now, one other thing. Bob Costas is going to investigate the Free Report on Penn State. Let's see what happens here when Bob Costas gets involved and see what the truth really is. The problem with what's going on is we're going to accept the truth from over a year ago because it's been a year. We're over it. We don't want to hear about it anymore. We don't want to hear somebody else coming out with something else to say that, you know, maybe not everyone was as culpable as they say. We don't know. It was a disgusting, horrible situation. But we just took that report and said, hey, that's fact, it's true. Nobody really dug into it. And the couple people that have dug into it, nobody cares to hear about it. We want to know the truth. The media doesn't seem to care so much for the most part about the truth. It's all about getting the story first, getting the scoop first, and getting it out there. Whether or not it's all true, not true, or whatever. You know, we don't care if it's a hoax, if it's real, whatever. How many media members have gotten themselves in trouble in the last year by going off a story that really wasn't true, that they were trying to win a Pulitzer or something off of so they could get notoriety and get the next big job and write a book and this and that. It's ridiculous. The people at Penn State, whether or not the rest of us want to or not, need the ability to know what the real truth is. Is Joe Paterno, how involved was he, how involved was he not? We don't know. It was a horrible, horrible thing that went on. But everyone, certain people have been thrown on the bus that maybe should have been thrown on the bus, and I believe Bob Costas may be able to find out what that is. Bob Costas is the greatest journalist, sports journalist or journalist of our time. He will find out what happened one way or another, and he will give us a fair and balanced report on what's going on. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in that and how that comes down here in the next few weeks, and see what Bob Costas does dig up and see how the rest of the media treats it. Now, on to a little bit just into sports here. We've got a great Final Four weekend coming up. A very interesting Final Four. Louisville, Wichita State. I don't know if Wichita State's got a chance, but who thought they had a chance to get this far? It's been a heck of a run. You got Syracuse, Michigan. Michigan is insanely hot. Can they hit the threes against that 2-3 zone? Syracuse has kind of breezed through the tournament, won 4 straight, and really hasn't overall been greatly challenged to have to do it. They haven't been pressed in the last 5 minutes of any one of those games yet. They are playing at an amazing rate. It should be a great Final Four, and for the Big East, is this the last hurrah for the Big East before Louisville and Syracuse head off to the ACC, or can we get the Big Ten, who is the best conference in the country? I don't care what the RBI says, saying the Mountain West was #1. That's completely crazy. That just blows my mind and throws the RPI right out the window to me from now on. The Big Ten was the best conference in the country. Can Michigan get to the championship game and show why the Big Ten was the best conference in the country? Or do we get a Louisville-Syracuse matchup that shows that maybe the Big East was a little bit stronger than everybody thought? You know, I know Georgetown went out in the first round and they had their struggles, but you had Syracuse going all the way to play Marquette again. You know, it's an incredible run by the Big East here in this tournament. So we will see what happens. It'll be a great sports week. Folks, enjoy it. Watch out for the Lakers. Lakers, Utah Jazz fighting for that 8th place spot in the NBA. Kind of watch and see how that comes out. The Utah Jazz have the tiebreaker against the Lakers if they end up in a tie. There's no reason the Lakers should not have the talent to maybe go on a run here, win their last 10 games, get in the playoffs, and then who knows, because Dwight Howard and Kobe Bryant, and if they can get back Metta World Peace, he's a big chunk. People don't like him, but he's a big chunk of that team. You got Pau Gasol, Kevin Nash, or not Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is a wrestler. Steve Nash, who looks nothing like Kevin Nash, is about a foot shorter, but can dribble a basketball. Kevin Nash, though, did play college basketball, folks. I hope you know. And the Big Show on the WWE note went to Wichita State and played at Wichita State. He didn't play much. I don't think he wasn't really motivated to play at Wichita State at that point. But enjoy the night, folks. WWE main event tonight. Watch it on Ion TV. I don't know what they'll have on. Maybe a match or two tonight. Probably a lot of discussion about WrestleMania, a lot of Raw highlights. But it should be interesting as we cruise down WrestleMania weekend to see how WrestleMania goes this Sunday night. I'll be back tomorrow or the next day with another report for this week. Otherwise, enjoy the next couple nights. Final Four Saturday should be interesting. See you at the Sweatpants Report.